The principal announced over the intercom, "Nobody leaves until we find it." My best friend started laughing next to me. Not a nervous giggle or confused chuckle. Full-blown, doubled over, tears streaming down his face laughter. Everyone in Miss Fletcher's 6th period English class turned to stare at David while Principal Hawkins's voice crackled through the speakers again. "This is not a joke, students. We are missing something very dangerous from the science lab." David wiped his eyes and whispered to me, "Dude, this is perfect timing." I had no idea what he meant, but something about his reaction made my stomach drop. The intercom continued. "All teachers, please lock your classroom doors immediately. No student or staff member leaves this building until we locate the missing item." Ms. Fletcher walked to our door with shaky hands and turned the deadbolt. "What's so funny about a lockdown?" I hissed at David. He pulled out his phone and showed me a text he'd sent 20 minutes ago. "Operation Chaos starts at 3:15. You'll know when it begins." The timestamp showed 2:55 p.m. It was now 3:16 p.m. "David, what did you do?" But before he could answer, we heard screaming from the hallway. Not panic screams, laughter screams, like people at an amusement park. Ms. Fletcher pressed her ear to the door, looking confused. "That doesn't sound like fear," she muttered. "Because it's not," David said, standing up with this massive grin. "I didn't steal anything dangerous from the science lab." He walked to the window and pointed outside. In the courtyard, 3 dozen students were slip and sliding across the grass on their stomachs, covered head to toe in some kind of foam. They were having the time of their lives, laughing and crashing into each other like human bowling balls. I stole the fun stuff. The intercom crackled again. Principal Hawkins sounded even more frantic. "We are now missing 17 bottles of dish soap, 12 containers of baby oil, and apparently our entire stock of food coloring from the chemistry storage room. Whoever did this needs to come forward immediately." David raised his hand like he was in class. "That would be me, Ms. Fletcher. But technically, I prefer the term liberated over stole." Ms. Fletcher stared at him with her mouth open. Through the window, we could see more students sneaking out of other buildings and joining the soap slide party. Someone had turned on the courtyard sprinklers, creating this massive slip and slide paradise in the middle of our supposedly secure campus. Teachers were banging on windows, trying to get their students' attention, but nobody outside could hear them over their own laughter and the sprinkler system. "David, they're going to expel you," I said, but he just shrugged. "Worth it. Do you know how miserable everyone's been since they banned fun from this school? No more field day, no more spirit week activities, no more anything except test prep and college applications. Sometimes you have to create your own happiness." Right then, Principal Hawkins appeared in the courtyard with 2 security guards, slipping and sliding as they tried to chase down soap-covered teenagers. The funniest part was watching the adults try to maintain authority while losing their balance every 3 steps. Principal Hawkins went down hard, landing flat on his back in a puddle of rainbow-colored soap bubbles. When he tried to stand up, his legs went out from under him again. The security guards weren't doing any better. One of them grabbed onto a tree branch for support, but his hands were so slippery, he just swung there helplessly. But then everything changed. Principal Hawkins managed to reach his radio and called for backup. Within minutes, the fire department arrived with hoses, washing away all the soap and ending the party. They rounded up every student in the courtyard, and suddenly David's brilliant prank turned into a nightmare. 43 students got suspended for 3 days. Parents were called. Some kids got banned from graduation activities. "Was it worth it now?" I asked David as we sat in the principal's office, waiting for our parents. He looked out the window at the courtyard, which was now just wet grass with no trace of the chaos from an hour earlier. But then he smiled and showed me his phone. The video of Principal Hawkins falling had already gotten 12,000 views on social media. "Absolutely," he said. "Sometimes making people laugh is worth getting in trouble." David got suspended for 2 weeks and had to pay for all the supplies he'd liberated.